Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Valone's RC Hobby. And guys, I got my first podcast here with Show Us Your RCs. One of my last videos that I did, I came out to you guys and said, I want to flip the script and I want to see your RCs. I know there's guys out there that got tremendous RC collections out there, and I just will let you know I am getting back to everybody as fast as I can. I got inundated with submissions of Show Us Your RCs. And so I am putting everybody in line here, and I will be getting to you. So please be on the lookout for my emails. And basically what we're looking for is, real cool collections, stuff that's maybe vintage, even some new stuff. And, even stuff maybe that you've made up yourself and you've modified, and that's what we're looking for. So I guess anything in the realm of like 15 plus cars in your collection would be really cool to see. Just be sure to email me your collection at valonesrc@gmail.com. So I did get a lot of submissions through Facebook, but email is the best. So, but this guy right here, Joe Depoto out of Danbury, Connecticut, reached out to me and said, hey man, I got a bunch of vintage RCs, and I also see that you're into Volkswagens, and I got a bunch of, VW style RCs I want to show you. So when I saw his pictures, I said, holy cow, this guy I got to meet. And so I'm here to introduce Joe Depoto out of Danbury, Connecticut. How are you, Joe?
Good. Glad to be on the channel, Chris. Like I said, we got a little bit of everything for you today. So
Looks
ask
great
any
there.
questions you got, and let's see where we go.
I love what you got there. And like, I think what you told me too was that nothing's a re-release there. Everything is an original piece.
Correct. With the exception of one of the cars here in the back, it's actually a resto mod. Tamiya, let me try to bring it up to the camera there.
Okay.
I've got a vintage radio with it.
Oh, look at that thing. Wow.
So actually, it's even got the 27 frequency 6AAs.
Wow.
This is actually, Tamiya reissued this one recently as, I believe, a super wheelie. My name could be wrong, but essentially it's the same as a lunchbox, but the original version of it was a bathtub chassis. It was a Mitsubishi Pachiro.
Oh, wow.
And my dad actually built one of these just like this probably about 35 years ago, and that car's long gone and ran into a sewer drain. So when Tamiya reissued, when they reissued this kit, I just painted up silver like the one he had all those years ago. But the funny part was a little bit of a background. Yeah, so our family actually got involved with the RC hobby probably about 35 years ago when they owned a small hobby shop in Danbury called Kits and Wits. And they stocked more of the entry-level kits, just Grasshoppers, Hornets, that Pachiro that I just showed, and as well as the Subaru Brat.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Well, that car that you showed before, I mean, I've never seen one of those actually. And you're saying it's based off of the Lunchbox or the Midnight Pumpkin?
Yeah, actually, that was the first bathtub chassis they had. It had the humpback battery that would go in the back,
Right.
so it could pop wheelies, but it didn't really have much traction. It would usually just go out of control and break. But it was yeah, Tamiya did a lot of stunt vehicles, such as with the original Wild Willie here, which was the same thing with a humpback.
Right.
So yeah, they were big into trying to make hobbyist slash stunt type vehicles. Then obviously the biggest thing was the realism,
Right.
which
Right.
I always liked, painting the figurines and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was the same way, man. I mean, I just love tinkering with them and building those kits for sure. But yeah, so keep going. What else you got?
Like I said, we got a little bit of everything here. All the boxes back there, those are all original boxes. And the box all the way on the far right, that's a Tamiya Sand Rover. That box includes a kit that's unbuilt since 1980.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, actually, that one I just found that about 2 years ago at a swap meet of all places. So they're still out there. You just got to be in the right place at the right time.
I scour eBay every now and then to find some, a Midnight Pumpkin or a Lunchbox or, an original kit. I'm trying not to get the re-releases either. But sometimes that's what you're left with. And, you might have to get a re-re, but, it is good that Tamiya is coming out with, some of these re-res that, maybe, an old one is just too hard to find or too expensive. And, a re-re has got some support there and part support. So But very cool though. I see you got down there a Grasshopper, a Hornet.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, well, right here's a Hornet. This is an original one. Obviously the Lexan body. The
Yeah.
decals are fairly new, but it still has the wiper manual speed control. And actually, when they were built new for waterproofing, as primitive as it was, they actually had little rubber balloons on them. So if you
Oh,
were to
nice.
find it, they would actually, it was essentially just a normal balloon, but it would have a Tamiya logo on it. But you're talking 40 years later, the things are usually pretty brittle or look like a blob of black gunk.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So
I see on the back there you got that big bear.
yeah, actually that's this one here. And this was actually the first RC
Look at
monster
that.
truck.
How
And
cool.
it's got the slap shocks on it, as well as this one does have a aftermarket. I don't think it's carbon fiber, but I believe it's made by JG Performance to cut down on the suspension travel. But
There you go.
yeah, if I remember, these kits were available from Tower Hobbies. They were always like in the bargain bin. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think these used to sell in the 91 Tower catalog for $69.99, while
Oh, wow.
a lunchbox was $99.99, and I think a Blackfoot was $109.99. And then the Monster Beetle, which we have over here, that was the big dollar item because it came with oil shocks, gold, you know.
Oh, that's a beauty.
Yeah, so the Monster Beetle, same platform as the Blackfoot, was a little bit more expensive when it was new because it had oil-filled shocks, gold rims, and a more detailed body. But unfortunately, like the Blackfoot, the had the same issue with the rear end gears, which they did reissue it now. But Chris, you were telling me that you could still buy better differentials for these vehicles instead of the bevel gears, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the MIP diff is a great diff for everybody. If you want a good runner, that you can cruise around with, that's perfect to get. I highly recommend it because if you want to go brushless, then you can throw a brushless system into a Monster Beetle or a Blackfoot. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you put a brushless motor in, and those gearboxes will just blow up pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they really can't take much abuse, even 20, 30 years ago, let alone now. But like I said, there's a little bit of array of everything here. A lot of these vehicles use the same rear ends, such as the lunchbox, the pumpkin, the grasshopper, and hornet. It's all the same rear end, which I believe is the same gears that were used in a clodbuster as well.
yeah, yeah, and then the Clodbuster has the floating differentials as well in that truck too. So, but what you had that one Beetle in the background, kind of the little blue one.
Oh, the blue one. Yeah, that one. Hopefully, I don't lose connection there. Let me go over and get that.
Okay,
This one here.
look at that sucker. I love it.
Yeah, actually, I built this one. Showing my age now. Back in '97 when I was in seventh grade, and it's actually the only kit here that doesn't have mechanical speed control. It actually has an electronic, which today, 25, almost 30 years later, it's gigantic. I'd say it's about the size of the pager, but I don't think anyone even knows what a pager is anymore. But yeah, this was actually the Tamiya M Chassis, which they've done so many different versions of these since. I think they even make an all-wheel drive one of this now, but this one's just rear wheel. So, and like I said,
Gotcha.
I built this back in '97 when it first came out. So,
And it's
but
amazing.
yeah,
They even make the bus now, and they're doing the Carmen Gia as well.
yeah. So, which is nice because Tamiya always did a great job with scale dimensions, especially with their plastic models and everything. But I mean, even the box art on these kits is amazing too, especially the originals that have the real sponsors on them, such as KC Daylights, NGK. I think the Frog even had a Budweiser sticker on it, which you're never going to find out in a kit now. And I wish I had one in this collection, but there was the Porsche 959, which the early ones had the Rothman sticker on it, which is a tobacco company, but the later ones, they got rid of that.
Now you said you had a rare Toys R Us version of the Blackfoot that came with like
Yeah.
a rare controller.
Yeah, let me grab that. So this right here, it's a Tenchi Atcoms radio, and this radio came in kits that were sold at Toys R Us. And I believe you were able to get the Frog and the Blackfoot from there. And this actually came with this Frog that I have. I remember I bought this one back in 2002 for $80, and it came with the original box as well, which is in the background there.
Nice.
But yeah, I even went through the painstaking process of making sure I put the original dual resistor mechanical speed control in the back, which, like I said, most people probably wouldn't have the patience nowadays to deal with the mechanicals, because nowadays all the kits come with electronics anyway. But in the old days, and it was a big deal to get a little sticker that said it came with the mechanical speed control, which all these Tamiyas did.
Right.
I think there was even a time bowling kits, they used to brag that the vehicle came with a pinion gear. You wouldn't even get a motor or anything.
Wow.
That's why they were only $40.
Yeah, yeah. But
But
you got a heck of a collection. So how many cars you have in total?
I would say altogether, I don't have any of the project cars here. We're probably talking about maybe 30.
Wow.
And a cousin of mine, they probably got another 50 to 100. One of them actually has a bunch of kits still in the box.
Oh, wow. No
So
kidding.
my collection is the smallest of the group.
Okay. Okay. And
But
what's the little red one in the corner there to my left? It's to your right.
that turbo Beetle there, I'll grab that right now. And if you see the box on the top, so
Yeah.
hopefully we don't lose connection here. Let me grab that. Hold
Okay.
on.
Go ahead.
So this kit, there's actually a few of them that were made. There was, I think, a hot rod and this, but they were sold through Tandy, which was a part of the computer company that Radio Shack was. And this one still has the box.
That's incredible.
Like I
Look at
said.
that, man. That's awesome.
So I actually had this before I ever, I mean, this isn't the same exact one, but I remember we got this way before I ever got a Monster Wheel in '91. So,
Wow.
and it only used AA batteries, so they didn't last that long. There was no NiCads with this.
Sure.
But yeah, like I said, it's always been something that I had a lot of interest in. I mean, there's quite a bit of a variety here. So, I mean, that's just a recap of the collection here. I mean, most of it's, you know, these are the completed ones. I got a lot of projects, especially going through Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. You always find parts lots. But this, as I was mentioning before, this is an unbuilt kit from 1980, which is it's a Sand Rover. There was also the Holiday Buggy. And this was a budget kit, but again, you're into Volkswagens. I figure you get a kick out of this. So
definitely. I think you got something very valuable there. It looks very collectible. I've never seen
yeah,
that.
I mean, like I said, I mean, I bought this one at a swap meet only 2 years ago, and I mean, it posed the question as you asked about the Blitzer Beetle the other day: should you or should you not build it? And it definitely is a catch-22.
Right.
I mean, it is kind of neat looking at a kit how it would have looked 40 years ago. And you're like, should I build this thing or should I not? Because I know, with my luck, the 40-year-old radio system's going to go haywire and it's going to roll into a tree or something.
Sure, sure.
But I mean, yeah, we're always looking around for more kits, and you know, like watching channels like this because it has a good variety of stuff, and it's a really good, honest podcast that tells you really how things are, especially if somebody's trying to get into this hobby, which, you know, has its peaks and valleys. And I'm glad to see that it's getting interest again.
Well, that's great, man. Listen, I really appreciate you taking the time out to show you what you got. And this is a great first podcast to see some rare stuff that you got there, because there is another side of RC. I mean, there's the new stuff, of course, where you can get out there and spend some money and bash around and go super fast for real dirt money. But then you got some vintage stuff, and you got a vintage side to the hobby that's, you know, gets to the collectible realm. You know, like I've said it before, it's kind of like vintage video games and baseball cards, garbage pail kids, that kind of thing. And
Right.
these are definitely really, really cool what you got there. And I'd love seeing what you got, and especially with all the boxes that you have. You still got them. It's all intact, and you know that just adds more value to those cars. So, but hey, Joe, really thank you so much for coming on the channel. I really love.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, love that we can definitely do this. And guys, if you like this, if you want to show me your collection, again, please be sure to email me at valonesrc@gmail.com. And please be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll be bringing you RC content like this each and every week, guys. So thanks again for joining us, Joe, and I'll definitely see you around the campus.